viewers here on Pianist Academy and on my other YouTube channel, where I have a few hundred performances, they regularly mention how expressive my playing is, and I'm really grateful for those comments, and I really appreciate them. And a couple of those commenters have even asked if I could share some secrets as to how I create expressive performances. So today I'm going to start to answer that question by sharing the two big things that unlocked artistry for me, in hopes that that my story can start you down a path or can help inspire you in a way to try out some of these things yourself. Now, many of you know that I started learning the piano when I was 3 years old, so it has truly been a lifelong passion and endeavor for me. But despite that, I would say that I didn't understand what real expression was in music until I was in my late 20s. And the understanding that I have come to, it didn't come from almost any lessons that I took. It didn't come from following the marks on the score. It didn't come from knowing music history. It didn't come from knowing the lives of the great composers. It came from two primary places. And the first and most important for me was learning just how limited music notation truly is. And learning that through composition, through composing music myself. In a minute, we're going to take a listen to some Rachmaninoff playing Chopin. And I think that performance is going to help to illustrate some of this. But first, when I write music, even to this day, even after composing professionally for about 20 years, the hardest part of the process is figuring out how to get the music that's in my head into the box of music notation, where I think really relatively little of my intentions as a composer, relatively few of my intentions can be put on the page, because notes and rhythms aren't what make music. Yet that's almost all we get on a page of music notation, right? Music is made in how a performer links notes and rhythms together. And when you make music first, when you make it before you ever see it somewhere, when you make it within yourself, I have found that in order to get it on paper, you have to strip away all kinds of things that make it music, that make it musical, that make it beautiful. You have to get rid of a lot of it to figure out how to put it in the box within the limits of music notation. So, with that said, let's listen to a great composer performing music by another great composer. Here is some of Rachmaninoff playing Chopin's Nocturne, Opus 9, number 2. what a magical performance. I mean, that is music played by someone who understands music, not just someone who's good at interpreting notes on a page. And if you followed along with the score, there is an incredible amount that Rachmaninoff does that just isn't printed anywhere. So summing up this first point, if you want to jumpstart your ability to express things in music written by others, write some of your own music that expresses something that you're feeling. You don't need formal composition training. You don't need to know all kinds of rules. The only thing you need to do is let your heart and your ears guide you. Then, after you've written something, see if you can transcribe some of it into notation, or, and I really mean this for real, spend a little money and hire out to someone that does music transcription or a company that does transcription. Send them the recording that you make of the music that you have written and have them transcribe it for you. And when you look at the notated version that you get back, pay attention to how your perception of your own writing changes, because you're only looking at a partial representation of your music when you look at the page. And when you see everything that's missing on your own page of music, you'll start to understand what's missing in notation in all of the rest of the music that you're playing. The second big thing is a bit more easily done, and it's more often talked about, but I'm going to refine it even more for you here. And in fact, we've already done it in this video. And that is listen to great artists performing great music. And I don't mean just listen to today's fantastic concert artists, and don't just listen to the great artists of last generation either, but seek out recordings from the early part of the 20th century. Seek out pianists who played in the grand manner. Liszt himself was said to be one of those. Busoni was one of those. Anton Rubinstein was one of those. Now, of course, recording technology didn't exist to capture those pianists in particular, but their legacy lives on really quite directly in their own students. So, for example, seek out recordings by Josef Hoffmann, who was perhaps Anton Rubinstein's most illustrious student. Seek out recordings by Arthur Friedheim, who is a student of both Anton Rubinstein and of Liszt. Seek out recordings by Alexander Michalowski, who studied with many pianists who were only 1 degree separate from composers like Beethoven, Mendelssohn, Schumann, Chopin, and even Liszt again. The closer we get to the great composers themselves, the more and more we hear music like what we heard from Rachmaninoff earlier in this video. We'll hear music and interpretations that transcend what is on the page, interpretations that show a true understanding of music. And to bring this video full circle, each of those pianists would have also had an intimate knowledge of how to improvise and how to compose as well, even if their work never became famous or very well known. Now, like I mentioned, this video is just the beginning of a discussion on expressiveness. I'm going to expand the topic into the future, and we're going to dive further into the grand manner of piano performance. We'll talk in more detail about how composing changes our perceptions of music. We'll talk about detailed spots in repertoire that can serve as springboards to unlocking your expressive nature. But for today, that's all. Go out and write some music. Listen to some great music. Thanks for watching.